I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. In today's video topic, I want to discuss whether or not Andrew Tate is correct about white men nowadays. And for those that are unaware, Andrew Tate is a four-time world kickboxing champion. He's also a multimillionaire, and he has had a very significant impact on young men through social media over the past few years. And I'm fairly neutral when it comes to Andrew Tate. I am not really for him, but I'm not really against him either. I'm not really a friend, but I'm not necessarily an enemy. He has a lot of truth to say, I think, but how he gets this knowledge, where it's coming from, and to what end it is, who knows? He's a pretty funny guy. You can't really argue that, is that he's pretty hilarious sometimes in the way that he says things. But I want to talk about this because this post itself got like 25 million views over the past few days. Not even few days, a couple days. And it's caused a online riot, apparently. So viewer discretion is advised here. And I deem myself capable of talking on this topic specifically because I am a white man. But ultimately, I think the problem that he's addressing here is not necessarily just for white men. It's for society in general. But here's what he has to say in it. Dear white men, you're fucked. You're being replaced because none of you have children. Even those of you bitching about the replacement online like little girls don't find the gumption to fuck. I see white men bragging about having 5 kids as if that's an achievement. LOL. 5? LOL. Per year, right? Oh, all you white boys lost control of your women and now they won't accept multiple wives anymore. Now they tell you that you don't want kids anymore. One's enough. They don't want to do their God-given job anymore, and they just want Instagram likes instead. Your genetic potential is stumped by the whims of singular females. A female who takes 9 whole months to grow a single baby. Other races would have multiple ovens for bread. We're not cucked. Some bitch is screaming at you about loyalty, and you're sitting there saying, yes, baby. Jerking off to corn, and she's asleep or maybe cheating with a side bitch with a condom on. Oh no, I couldn't get another woman pregnant. My wife would kill me. Total fucking losers. Soon your race will be nothing more than a few pages in a history book. A lesson on what's happened when you fuck the female psyche so hard they're obsessed with money and social media as opposed to being one of the many baby factories for a king. 30 children minimum for the dons. White people, go talk to your quote-unquote best friend wife about what to do this weekend, and maybe you can have a nice walk around IKEA. Enjoy extinction. So, I mean, it's pretty blunt. And is it a bit of it's not necessarily bullyish. I would put this more under the really hard, tough love of the situation. Because he does have multiple wives, apparently, and he does have lots of children, apparently, and he's never said, as far as I can tell, not to take care of the children. And, you know, there are, even in the Bible, polygyny, which is not the same as polyamory or polygamy. Polygyny is the man having multiple wives, and God even says to the King David that when he fornicates, he says, David, if you wanted more wives, why didn't you just say so, basically? And God would have given him more wives. Now, of course, King David was a king, and he had already like 300 concubines at this point. And so, am I declaring that, you know, I agree with Andrew Tate? Not necessarily, but he makes a good point. Do I like the way that he brought this up? Not necessarily, but he makes a good point. we live in a day and age where literally everywhere you look, depopulation is the glitch in the matrix that everybody wants you to follow. Populating is, what does the Bible say, right? It says, be fruitful and multiply. Well, what's the point of that? It's so that we can grow. It's so that we can extend ourselves. Not just ourselves, but the future generations. This is where I think our society has completely lost touch with what exactly it means to have a family. And so I am growing more and more aware each day that I want, not only do I want a family, it's almost getting to the point where I'm going to say confidently that I need a family. And it's not necessarily because I need one for myself. It's I need a family for my family. Look, we live in a day and age where we've got fridges, we've got washing machines, we've got we've got our cell phones, we've got whatever device you're looking at right now. We have all of these amazing devices and technological advances at our fingertips. And yet, what are we doing? What are we doing with it? We're letting ourselves become depopulated. It's no secret that white men specifically are not engaging in relationships. Now, you can say that that's because of the marriage laws. You can say that that's because there's not a lot of women that are capable of being wives out here. And that's technically true, like on both parts, because who wants to get with an ex-party girl that could ruin your finances and everything that you built for the last 5-10 years, all for her to just ruin it and then take everything because she might claim that there was some kind of inappropriate thing between you two. I mean, I've seen this happen in in states like California. In states like California, a husband and wife can be married for years, all for the wife to say that she was inappropriately touched, or she was inappropriately, she didn't want to have intercourse at the time, and that just completely derails everything that the man has built for the last 10 plus years for him being in the marriage. So let's go further on and let's analyze this a little bit more deeper. So all you white boys lost control of your women and now they won't accept multiple wives anymore. Do I think that we need multiple wives? No, not necessarily. I think it's your biblical right to have multiple wives as a man. And the reason that women are not allowed to have multiple men is because they literally go crazy. Spiritually speaking, they go crazy. And look around. Look around. This is what's happened. And it's not necessarily the fact that, a lot of men talk about body count and such, and like how many women or how many men these women have slept with. And it's like, I'm almost to the point to where it's not necessarily the body count itself that matters to me. It's how they treated the men and how long they were together. Because if a woman has a relatively quote unquote low body count, like under 5, let's say, and even that is a lot, like even that's too much. But considering where we're at nowadays, this is just, it is the situation. Comparatively. So if a woman has less than 5, let's say, but she was with two or three of those were boyfriends for like 3 years. Okay, well, that's understandable. But guess what? By that point, she's probably already 27, 28. And so she's had these 3 boyfriends. Why isn't she married then? that's something that you would have to look into as a man. Why isn't she married if she's had these multiple boyfriends for this long and there's nothing sticking, so to speak, right? But then you have the men that, yes, I mean, we have lost control of the women. We absolutely have. I think Andrew Tate is right on this. Men are not respected by most women nowadays. Most men are not respected by most women, let's say. It's just a fact. And the reason for it is because of all this quote unquote self-empowerment of feminism, and anybody with two eyes and a brain can clearly identify that feminism has absolutely ruined society in the West. 100%. 100%. There's no way to not see this. But this isn't news, right? What is news is that, yes, the white men specifically have lost control of the women. And again, I don't think it's just specifically white men per se, but I do think that, especially speaking as a white man and seeing white men around me, for the most part, I can say that's the case. And I don't think Andrew Tate is trying to come off as racist at all in this. I think he's just identifying an issue. Is he going about it in the best way? No, I don't think so. But at least he's shining light. I think he's trying to do this on purpose, to shine a light that isn't so flattering, to get us white men, let's say, to start actually trying to make a difference in our lives. But so many men are just going to get so butthurt over this that, what do you do? I mean, even me making this video, somebody might get butthurt, and it's like, I'm not even trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm just trying to talk through this, and I actually see that does he have a point or not? And I think he does. I think he has a point. Does this mean that I agree with everything he's done? Absolutely not. But here he goes again. They don't want to do their God-given job anymore. That's another thing that's true. Women don't want to do their God-given job. In fact, this is something that I've realized recently, is that it's not necessarily that women are hating. It's God. And that's something to think about. So he also says that your genetic potential is being stumped by the whims of some singular female. And this is coming from a man that is polygynist. So for those that are monogamists or interested in monogamy, let's say, that's not going to make sense to you. So I can understand that. Then he goes on, and this is another thing that's true. So many men are jerking off to corn, thinking that they are like they're loyal. It's like, do you understand what it means to be loyal? Being loyal doesn't mean sitting there with your willy whacker in your hand, watching somebody else that you don't even know screw somebody else that you don't even know, that was God knows when it was filmed. So you're just taking you're looking through the library of erotic time just to get your pops off. I mean, he's got a point there. He's got a point. So I don't agree with men watching porn either. I don't. Let's see here. What else does he say? Yeah, go talk to your best friend wife what to do this weekend. And maybe you can take a nice walk around IKEA. That's actually pretty funny. Like, if you think about it, that's actually pretty funny. because so many men are like, oh, my wife is my best friend. It's like, okay, well, good. Good for you, man. Good for you. And I'm not saying that she can't be. I'm just saying that in my experience, all of the men that I've seen that have said, oh, my wife is just my best friend. You know, happy wife, happy life. Those are betas. They're not happy with their lives. You can see it, and you can feel it in their voice. But then he says, enjoy extinction. And he's just trying to wake people up. I mean, if anything, he's inspiring you to actually... he's inspiring you to go do something about the lack of virility and the lack of true population growth in our society. And specifically as white men as well. And this is true. Like, look at the average letter person, the letter people. Most of them are ending up to be like these. They all have like the same look. They've all got short green or purple hair with huge ass eyeglasses, a nose piercing or a septum piercing of some kind. And they're usually wearing like these weird, like kiddish like clothes with overalls or something, and super weird socks that are like super colorful. And then they always have like some pride like flag thing somewhere on like their backpack or their purse or whatever, because they want to be an ally. This is what we've allowed women to turn into as men. And so what we have to do as men is we have to go out and actually say, okay, this is how it's going to be. And we need to be straightforward with these women out here as well. Because we are being bred out of existence. Not just the white people. Everybody. This is what the Matrix, as Andrew Tate would say, the Matrix, right? This is what the Matrix wants. So let the lion that you've tamed inside you, let it go. We're not meant to be docile. David Goggins said once that becoming, what did he say? Civilized. Becoming civilized is one of the worst things a man can be. And I think that's true. We've become far too civilized in our society. And I'm not saying that we can't be sophisticated. I'm not saying that we can't be cordial with one another, but damn it, let the line go. It's time to let these fools that don't want to see you go, they want to see you go above and beyond, but they don't want to see you go above and beyond in the way that you want to go above and beyond. So screw them. We have to make better decisions. We've got to be able to make sure that we are ensuring the future of our generation and that our kids will be able to have a life that has the values, that sees what's happened when we do let things go out of control and all the sexually liberated people of the world. This is what happens. Society collapses, men become weak, and when the tough gets going, there's nobody there to take on it. So that's what the godly men on this channel are for. This is what we're for. And so if you want to make sure that you're prepared, if you want to make sure that you're going to be emotionally controlled yourself, you're going to have the spiritual tools to make sure that you understand what's going on in the world and you understand what's going on inside yourself so that you can actually provide a stable pillar for your future family. Go ahead and check out the Regal Change Academy in the description box below, because that's where we're going to teach you this kind of stuff. And with that being said, peace be with you. Till next time.